Welcome to Shovelware Diggers. Our dig team is currently excavating the Softkey Shareware 2000 Hit Games 2CD collection. You can find a link in the video description listing the entire directory structure of this archive. Here's what our diggers have for week 213. For more information on how to join the dig team, simply follow the Patreon link in the video description. Now, without further ado, let's get to it. First up, Cat Dog Joe has dug up DOS Games /arcade/darts11. Well, clearly some kind of dart throwing game. Well, it's also written in one of the Turbo programs, either Pascal or Turbo C. Got a very small README. There is a doc file. It's a fairly large doc file. Well, first let's go edit the README, see what's up with that. Okay, so the README here is just like a short bug report thing. Apparently this is like an updated version. And this is just saying what the bugs were in the previous version. So, not too important. But we have that doc file here. And apparently we're starting the darts.doc with a smiley face. Probably like a printer code or something. But anyways, Darts version 1.0, copyright 1991 by Scott Seaman? Not entirely certain how to pronounce that. I can think of one way of pronouncing it that I'm not going to say. This is the game of darts, popular in America and England, often as semi-organized leagues in bars and pubs. Run the program, must have an IBM PC or compatible computer with EGA or VGA video hardware, and a Microsoft compatible mouse. Okay, so we will be using the mouse. And apparently, it's $10 to register from the looks of it. Okay, so it looks like this is going to be a little more advanced than your typical throwaway darts game. Because in your typical throwaway darts game, you're just like pressing a button to hit something. But this seems like it has actual skill involved. Because it's saying here, to aim the dart, move the mouse around, thereby moving the dart until the tip of the dart is right where you want the dart to land in the board, and click the left button to set it. If you make a mistake in aiming, you can re-aim the dart by clicking the right mouse button before throwing. To throw the dart, move the mouse to the bottom of the mouse pad so there's plenty of room ahead, and push and hold down the left mouse button. Then begin moving the mouse forward a few inches per second as near to vertical as possible. Release the button while still moving the mouse. So it's trying to have like a sort of motion-based like movement to get the sort of throwing of the dart going. Going to be interesting to see how well that works, because motion-based controls like that with a mouse are not common in old 90s programs. So we'll see if it actually does the trick or not. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Darts 11. Okay, and it just goes straight in. Okay, that threw me off for a second. Because it's in the menu, the mouse is limited to this range of motion. You can't move it all around the screen. So that's kind of interesting. What are my options? Fast draw, multiple, safety, diddle. I guess diddle's an option. I don't know what that's about. So we can set the player names. So I will be me. Level beginner, style vertical. Okay. And then select game. Let's just go practice mode for the moment. Okay, we got a dartboard here. So yeah, so you aim the dart. So like, I mean, if I wanted to go for dead center, aim the dart. And then, okay, so it's interesting that doesn't keep the mark on the board. Okay, and it's actually showing velocity values at the side there. So I threw it straight, but I didn't give it enough Y velocity to make the mark. Huh. So let's try again. So throw. That time I gave it way too much Y velocity. Okay, throw. Okay, I'm not quite sure where the sweet spot's going to be, because that clearly didn't work so well. Oh, that was a pretty good shot there. So it looks like a velocity of 15, put it a little under where I was aiming. So I'm guessing 16 is probably the sweet spot that you want to aim for, but yeah, that had a lot of X velocity, so it ended up going to the side there. And then, oops, that was too much Y velocity and a good bit of X velocity. Okay, well, let's just try a game of 301. So, if I recall the rules of 301 correctly, you're trying to get your 301 points down as low as you can without going under 0. If I'm remembering the rules to this correctly, I'm probably not, but... Oh, and when you're not in the practice mode, it doesn't show you your velocity values. That's good to know. Apparently my aim is terrible. So yeah, it doesn't look like there's AI opponents. Or there might be, and I just don't know how to turn them on. So I can see this is definitely challenging. But I'm not sure. Yeah, I can't. Granted, I'm barely playing it. I'm sure, like, if you played this enough times, you might get a feel for the motion, but it definitely feels weird trying to, like, push the mouse, like, only a specific amount. Oh, I really threw that sideways. Oh, I actually hit the 17 spot there. So yeah, like, I mean, I'm down to 20 now. So, like, the trick is, I've got to make sure that I hit 20. Well, you know, just... if I aim it here, and then... that was double 20. That was way too many points. Because I needed to hit the normal 20. Whoops. Oh wait, it still seems to be... oh! It's giving me another chance because it's not the end of the game yet. And I hit the 20 instead. Why is my aim good when I want it to be bad, and why is my aim bad when I want it to be good? That's hilarious. Although it's still going. I mean, I can keep trying for this, I guess. Oh, wow. Okay, apparently the game does actually detect the wires in the dartboard. So yeah, that's not something... this almost never comes up in when you're playing darts, because the chance of that happening is so incredibly low. But if you were to hit the wire dead on with a dart, it's just gonna bounce off. It's not gonna stick to the dartboard. So that's kind of interesting that the game emulates that. So yeah, that was darts. It's actually a very interesting way of doing a darts game. Like, doing the whole motion with the mouse thing. I'm not sure if you could get a feel for this or not. Like, I'm not getting a feel for it, but I think some people probably could. So I guess it really comes down to if you want a more advanced darts game than what was typical for the time. Because what was typical for the time was just press a button when you think you're going to hit. So this is definitely a lot more advanced than that. Next up, we have a failed team dig from Jonathan Gosselin and Matthew Belshon. DOSGames /KidGames /TalkABC1, and this one failed for a really annoying reason. Wait, Karen Crowther? Isn't that the same person who made the Word Rescue and Math Rescue games? Huh. If that's the case, then we might actually have something rather interesting on our hands. Missing.tsx files. Do you get both halves of ABC? Right. Okay. So we saw that the folder name was TalkABC1. So apparently, this game was distributed as two separate zip files or whatever, or two separate archives, because we appear to be missing some of the files needed to run this. Okay, let's just quickly take a look and see if there is a Talk ABC 2. There is not. There is only a Talk ABC 1. So, yeah, that's going to be a failed dig for now, for really stupid reasons. Thus, Jonathan Gosselin's successful dig is DOSGames /arcade/BomBoy. If I had to take a wild guess, I'm going to guess a Bomberman clone. Well, we got the BomBoy executable up there. Got the EGA, VGA, BGI, so Borland written, a bunch of DAT files, and a very small readme.txt. Probably small enough to just type it. So this is a demo that may be distributed freely. So as long as no... Oh wow, there's multiple English infractions in this sentence here. It's a demo that may be distributed freely so as long as no modifications are made or the .zip name changed. Oh boy. Feel free to write me at ProjectID if you notice any glaring bugs, as this is a first release. If this demo is too fast for you, type a number after BomBoy that shows how much slower you want the game to be. I.e. BomBoy 100 will make it about 2 times slower than normal, which is not a good estimate given that the speed of the person's computer is going to be a big factor and stuff like that. But whatever. Doesn't seem to be too much else here, so let's run it. Oh, I was right about the BomBoy thing. Or at least the name. Okay, so we got a menu here. And apparently it was made by Ryan Keppel. With special thanks to Steven... I have no idea. Zuchkovsky? I can't pronounce that. Okay, instructions. In this game, you are BomBoy, a small mutant boy who was born underground. You must reach the exits to continue on to the overworld. You have a limited amount of different kinds of bombs at your disposal. Pushing the appropriate function key activates them. Holding the key down will put more power into the shot. Cursor keys move you around. You always shoot in the directions you last faced. Special surprise awaits those who complete the full game. And apparently registration is only $5, so I guess we will go ahead with the game. Okay, you ran out of life, push return. This is going way too fast. I'm gonna turn the cycles way the heck down. So go ahead. Okay, that seems like it's probably a little better. Okay, you can't hold multiple keys, so that doesn't help. How do I actually... I got... Not quite sure what I was doing wrong there. Because, I mean, it gives you different kinds of bombs, but I'm not sure how I'm supposed to be using them. So, like, I mean, if I push F2... Okay, that shot a bomb forward like that. Okay, I managed to defeat them, but now I'm just dealing with more enemies. Yeah, I'm not entirely certain how... Yeah, how are you supposed to dodge any of that? Or do much of anything? I mean, I guess I didn't try the rake bombs? Okay, so it just shoots a whole bunch of bombs forward. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so the power you put into a shot, like if you're just tapping the button, it doesn't really do much. But if you hold the button down, that puts more power into the shot, which makes it more powerful and leads to a larger blast. So this one's going to be pretty big. Oh, well, that doesn't help. Okay, so one of the big problems with this game right away is the fact that you can't move faster than the enemies. So the moment the enemies get anywhere near you, you're pretty much done. So yeah, that was BomBoy. This game is extremely rough around the edges. Like, I mean, it's sure the registration is only $5, but this game needs a lot of work to actually be something that's enjoyable and worth money in the first place. Like, I mean, there's definitely some, like, effort put into this in terms of the person, like, learning how to do this kind of programming and everything. Like, that's what it feels like. This feels like somebody who just got started with programming and felt they would try to sell their first project. But no, you don't sell your first project unless it's absolutely amazing. This is not absolutely amazing. This is something that needs a lot more work to make it saleable. But at least it shows promise, and that's more than can be said for some games. And before we get to Matthew Belsham's successful dig, he had another failed dig. DOSGames /cards/TC. And this one failed for kind of a predictable reason. Okay, I got a bad feeling about this, because it's saying here, by linking two computers together via a modem or null modem. There's limited development of the games with only 2 players. Yeah, I got a funny feeling this might be a program which requires playing over a modem connection. Okay, let's see what happens. So we got a lightning bolt, got our Telecards logo, and yeah, it wants us to it wants us to connect to something. Like, I can try to put stuff in, but this is not going to go well. Yeah. Oh, I know this is going to be sound hard to believe, but I've actually had to I've actually dealt with 3 failed digs already today, and I've had to cut things around in very interesting ways, so some of what I've recorded today is actually showing up next week. But because of that, I've had so many dealt with so many failures so far today. I'm already past an hour recording. That's just very unusual. But in any case, this is a failed dig. I'm gonna have to dig up another one here. But Matthew Belsham did finally get a successful dig. DOSGames /arcade2 /Packrat. Third time's a charm, right? Well, it better be, because I have an unwritten rule that you only get 3 chances per week. If all 3 are failures, then oh well. We got a Packrat exe, got some data, probably in that 001 file, text file, and a register form. Okie dokie, so edit packrat.txt. The Packrat by Steve Blanding from 92. So you got system requirements, 256 color 4-way scrolling arcade game. Okay. I will be very shocked if this doesn't work. Although I'm already a little skeptical, because it's saying here if the game appears sluggish or jerky, then you may want to use the F8 key to shrink the game window. How to play the game. In this game, you become the Packrat, that debonair little rodent with a predilection for shiny little things. Your goal is to collect as many baubles as you can. As you move through each level, you face challenges and obstacles as you work to collect baubles and find your mouse holes. You can advance to the next level. Each level may have more than 1 mouse hole, each of which will take you to a different level. So make sure you look everywhere or you might miss something. Okay, so apparently you control the Packrat by using the arrow keys and the control and alt keys. The control key is the jump key, and alt key is used to push objects. So you have to hold alt down while you run into them. And apparently there is a suicide button, because of course there is. This sounds like it's going to be like a puzzle platformer, as opposed to an action platformer, but I guess we're going to find out. Oh, apparently there's actually a level editor for this game as well? I guess it probably wasn't included with the program here. It's probably something you get when you register. Yeah, it's saying you get the level editor when you register, and apparently the registration fee is $10. So let's see if we've got some $10 software here. Packrat. Why does this look familiar? I don't know why, but this looks familiar to me, even though I'm not sure if we've actually covered this or not. Or maybe we did. Okay, so play a one-player game. Get ready, player one. I'm ready. Have to push something? Oh, I gotta push something. Yeah, this still looks familiar to me, but I don't remember playing anything like this. Maybe I played this like once in the past or something? Oh, that's a coin. Okay, I'm gonna guess jump. Whoa. So far the controls seem to work okay. Oh, yeah, the game screen does scroll in all four directions. Oh, it's like a trampoline there. I'm not entirely certain how I get down there. Maybe I've got a... Okay, so I can just jump up it this way. You've got a sort of Sonic thing going on, where the longer you hold down the movement for, the faster you start to move. Not sure I like that for a game where you have to be a lot more precise with your jumps, at least so far. Okay, well this first level seems to have some verticality to it. Whoa, and the ice is definitely slippery. A little too slippery. And apparently we ascend to heaven when we die. Okay then. And there are no checkpoints. Oh boy. So while I'm getting back to where I was, here's a fun fact about level design from the early days of DOS games, and specifically with specifically with independent developers, because, and this happened with a lot of DOS games, like even popular ones like Duke Nukem had this problem, where because the level layout has been set as a fixed size, you can't have levels that make sense. Like here, like just as an example, like this game has like all this different scrolling going on in all directions, sure, and maybe that's a selling point, except you've now created a situation where your levels have to conform to this size, so if you want to do something that requires like a lot more horizontal motion, then all of a sudden you can't really do that. You have to sort of... Why can't I make that? I like hyper accelerate when I try to jump. But yeah, you have to basically develop your levels so that you're constantly changing your vertical height to be able to keep moving horizontally. So that doesn't really work so well. And part of the reason that happened is because the simplest way, the absolute simplest way to make a map, like any kind of level map or anything like that, is to just create a fixed dimension array, which in layman's terms means every level is the exact same size. Which means if you want to have a whole range of potential sizes to your levels, you don't really give yourself a lot of freedom there, because your level has to be the same size no matter what. Now, obviously, that didn't happen with video games. Video games generally, like console games I mean, console games generally don't have that problem, because the optimizations required to make levels on a console pretty much eliminated the potential for for that kind of logic. Like, the developers who were making console games had a lot more knowledge in terms of what they were doing, and didn't really have the luxury of just putting in an array and having a level. You didn't have the memory for it, you didn't have the space on the cartridge for it. In essence, the optimizations required to make maps in console games made it impossible for console games to have lazy internals in terms of the mapping. So that's why a lot of these old PC games have this problem, because the simplest way to do the map was to just make the array, make it one size for every single level, because internally all you have to do is make one two-dimensional array, and that's it. to make actual custom sizes required a lot more effort. So anyways, yeah, that was the Packrat. The game was fine until the ice physics came into play, because the ice physics make absolutely no sense. It's like an extreme amount of acceleration that you can't really control, and it happens even if you're airborne, which is the really weird part. And I'm trying to do it, but I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be able to, but we'll see. I'd like if I could, like, clear... Yeah, and there's no checkpoints either, so... Yeah, I'm just calling it now. Packrat, interesting idea, but making the first level stupid hard with the ice physics was not a good idea.